Guys, Mike here, head trader at True Trading Group, and on June 12th was just one and done for me. It's all it took. A 43% gain on INSY, the only trade that I made today. And really, guys, I didn't like anything pre-market. It was a very, very quiet morning, very unlike what we saw Monday and Tuesday. There was a lot of action pre-market Monday and Tuesday, a lot of low float stocks, some reverse splits, some news, big gap ups, a lot of volume. And today we had kind of the exact opposite pre-market. There wasn't anything that I loved pre-market. My watch list was very small. So I said pre-market I was just going to come in. I was going to be patient. I was got my scanners, do some work. The overall market, the SPY, was gapping down a tiny bit today. We said pre-market that we were just going to kind of expect like a slow grind lower in the overall market, which is what we're seeing so far today. And I was just patient. I was just patient. I let, my conservative style and mindset, just wait for a good setup rather than being aggressive. And it worked out. I didn't place my first trade till almost 30 minutes into the day on this INSY. And I typically don't trade the super cheap ones. Like INSY is a 40-cent stock. I usually don't trade the stocks that are this cheap. Alex, one of the other moderators in chat, he trades them a lot. He's really good at them. It's one of his fortes. But it's a little uncharacteristic for me to trade a 40-cent stock. But like I said, I didn't really love anything. So I was patient. I waited for an opportunity. There were certain things that I saw in the INSY setup that I liked. Then I focused on it. And then, like I said, I waited for my conservative entry point, good risk reward. I jumped on it and walked away with a 43% rip. And then things got pretty quiet for the rest of the morning, and I just kind of shut things down. I haven't made a trade since. It's 3:20. We're in the middle of power hour, and still things are pretty quiet. So I figured I would make this video a little bit early. So what I'm going to talk to you about with this trade on INSY, guys, is how I used VWAP in the TradeLine to get my entry point. Okay, and the difference between a conservative trader and an aggressive trader, basically for the most part, first of all, it has nothing to do with position size. I trade with large size. That does not mean I'm an aggressive trader. Aggressive versus conservative has everything to do with where your entries are. Okay, for the most part, conservative traders buy pullbacks into support, while aggressive traders buy breakouts through resistance. Okay, and I did not chase INSY up. I waited for a pullback into an area where I liked, where I had lower risk, and I got my fill. Okay, and then we caught the trade. So I'm going to talk to you about how to use VWAP and the TradeLine together to really get that good solid entry point on a pullback into an area of support. So to do that, let's get right to the chart, guys. INSY, okay, first has the gap up here and surges off the bell. Some bankruptcy news, approval for some bankruptcy stuff. That was the news with INSY this morning. And this may not look like a huge push because it's just so cheap. But guys, this thing went from 32 cents all the way up to 48 cents in the first 6 minutes of the day. That's a big opening bell push. And what I want you to notice here, guys, is that we started to find a little minor support there at VWAP for a few minutes. Then we broke down below VWAP. And then you can see for these next three candles, it was resistance, resistance, resistance. And then we get this big, strong, engulfing breakout green candle. And once we got that big breakout green candle right here, this is when INSY really got my attention. I came on the mic and chat. I even said, guys, this is a little uncharacteristic of me, but I'm really liking INSY. I'm focusing on this now. Other stuff was pretty quiet. My scanners were quiet, and I really started to like this setup. And the first thing that you need to notice is that VWAP is playing a role in the price action of the stock. It's important that you identify early on if VWAP is relevant or not, because there's going to be days where VWAP will be like the holy grail, and it will greatly affect the price action of a stock. And there's other days that a stock will trade right through it like it's not even there. Okay, so it's important that you identify VWAP's playing a role or VWAP's not playing a role. So once I saw this big engulfing green candle, it gets my attention. I look back, I say, okay, here's VWAP support, here's VWAP resistance. It's playing a role. Great. Now here's the breakout, and instead of me just buying this up here and chasing the break to the new high, that would be an aggressive style trader. Okay, I'm more conservative, so I wait for the pullback, and a pullback I got. Now, this may not look like a big pullback, guys, but this is like over a 10% pullback from 50 cents down to 44 cents. Okay, so that's a significant pullback, okay, percentage-wise. It may not look it just because of the chart and how big of a range that this stock had on the day, but that's a significant pullback. So what I'm doing now is I'm saying to myself, okay, I know VWAP's playing a role. I like what we have going on here. I like how we just pushed to new highs. I'm looking now for a pullback into a support level that I can look to try to get long. So I want to get long in front of VWAP because VWAP is showing me that it's playing a role. So now with this big engulfing candle, increased volume on that breakthrough VWAP, I'm looking for it now to become support. The other thing that we start to notice is the trade line. The 9 EMA starts working its way up, and I'm looking for a trade line VWAP crossover, which we got to ignite us to a new high. And that's exactly what ended up happening on INSY. So on this pullback, guys, I'm jumping in here at 44.82. Okay, take you guys to my trade announcements on the day. Here you guys can see long INSY at 44.82, stop loss of the 39-cent area. Why 39 cents? Because that's right below VWAP. Okay, that's right below this VWAP indicator, which I'm looking for there to be support. So I wait, I grab the pullback, we get the trade line VWAP crossover, and that ignites a move up through to new highs. Okay, but this really, the lesson I want you guys to take from this is identifying where your pullback opportunities are. Because if you are a conservative style trader like I am and you like to buy your positions on those pullbacks into support, and then you can add on the breaks if you want, okay, like you can buy your position, okay, in here on the pullback, and then you can add to the position on the breakout if you want, okay. But if you're looking to grab, and that's your style, to grab those pullbacks, you have to try not to get overly excited when you see these breaks like this, and you have to have the patience to not get long up here at the high during the break, but have the patience and to wait for your entry opportunity on your pullback. And today we used VWAP and the trade line to identify that buying area, that buying zone on the pullback, because I know that I'm looking for first, I know VWAP is playing a role in the price action. We just got a strong engulfing breakout candle that took us through VWAP, okay? And then I'm looking at now the trade line playing catch up, the trade line VWAP crossover pattern, which you see happens right here, and that ignites a push up to new highs. Okay, so here again, guys, let me go back. Here's the entry at 4482. First take profit was right there at the high of the day. Second take profit was right there at 54, and then the final take profit right here at 64. Back to my trade announcements here, you guys can see it took some profit at 50, took more off at 54, final take profit 64 cents. Okay, so 25% of my position I sold at 50, half my position I sold at 54, and the last 25% of my position I sold at 64. So here's the entry, 1, 2, 3, 43% gain on that final take profit, and that's all it took today, guys. That's all it took today. And on a day where I said I was going to be patient, it's fitting that not only was I patient in pulling the trigger on a setup and identifying a setup, but I was patient with my entry on that particular setup. And I did not get excited when I saw that breakout candle. I did not buy at 49 cents, at 50 cents, and have to risk all the way down to 39. Instead, I wait for a pullback into my buying zone. How did I identify that buying zone? By using VWAP and the trade line together to say, there's my support, wait for the pullback, I got it, I jumped on the opportunity, executed the trade, and now I have much lower risk. Think about the difference between me entering this trade here or me entering this trade down here. Now, this doesn't look like a big difference, but again, percentage-wise, if I entered this trade up at 49 and I got excited on this breakout, and let's say this trade does not work, and this pulls all the way back in and does this, and I get stopped out at 39 cents, do the math on that. From an entry at 49 cents, exiting at 39 cents. That's a big percentage loss. But instead, I wait for the entry on the pullback. Okay, I get the stock about 10% cheaper at 4482. Now, if the stock rolls over and breaks down and I get stopped out at 39, I'm losing on the trade, obviously, but nowhere near as much of a loss, about half the loss, as if I got excited and I was aggressive and I bought at the top of this candle on this breakout. So again, guys, I'm a conservative style trader. Does not necessarily mean that you have to be. I'm not saying that it's the right way or the wrong way, because being a conservative trader has its pros and it has its cons. Being an aggressive trader has its pros and it has its cons. But in my opinion, the pros of a conservative trader far outweigh the cons, because the difference between a conservative trader, the pros, you're going to get less, you're going to have less risk on your entries. Meaning you're going to get better entries, and you are going to be able to buy the stock closer to your support level, meaning you have less risk per trade. However, the con of being a conservative trader is that sometimes if a stock has a lot of momentum, you're not going to get a fill on your execution, because you're not going to get the pullback. You're going to get the breakthrough resistance. It's not going to pull back, and it's going to go. So in the conservative style, the con is I'm not going to make it. The con could be I could miss a trade, and I'm not losing money, but I'm just not making money. That's the con of the conservative style. That's why I like it. Aggressive trading, the pro would be you're rarely ever going to miss a move. If you're buying the breakout and you chase the breakout through the level, you're rarely going to miss a move. That's the pro. The con of the aggressive style is that you're going to be taking much bigger losses when you're wrong, because you're going to be buying so far away from the support level, because you're buying the breakout through the resistance point, that you're going to have to deal with a lot more pain should that trade fail. So now when you look at the con of being aggressive, the con of being aggressive is you're going to lose a lot when you're wrong. The con of being conservative is you're just not going to make. I'd much rather not make money than lose money. And that's why I'm a conservative trader. That's why I took the couple minutes to talk about this video. Guys, there's so much more that goes into trading with VWAP and the TradeLine. This is just really a fraction of how to use these indicators. The TradeLine VWAP crossover is a breakout trigger and catalyst that I teach all of our TGD members. It has an entire section in the advanced course bundle that's available on the website. And that's really, it's gold. I mean, I love it. I love the TradeLine VWAP crossover, and it worked out perfectly for us today in INSY. And I used those two indicators in conjunction with my conservative style and mindset, and it worked out perfectly on a slower day, able to pull 43% out on INSY. Okay? Lots of members caught it. I'm super happy about it. Sometimes all it takes is one, and that's what we did today. So hopefully we get some better action tomorrow. Some better pre-market action, and we'll have a better watch list going into the day. But locking this one up with a solid trade on INSY. I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow.